Hey everyone, it's Vanessa. I hope everyone's having a great morning, afternoon, evening, whatever you're experiencing. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by and checking out my content. If you're returning, fabulous. And if you enjoy what you get here, please hit those little buttons because it helps me a lot. You can find me on Facebook. V Diamond Occult Artist is my page. And then V Diamond 11 is my handle here on Instagram and on Instagram Threads. I do a lot of different types of content. Some beauty, a little bit of style, love, making purse videos, but I also throw in some occult and spiritual topics, including some classes on glamour magic and astral magic I will be throwing into the mix, hopefully over the next few months. So please hang out, enjoy yourself, and let me know what you're doing right now, like while you're listening to this. Are you working on your house? Are you in bed? Are you having a snack? Whatever. Enjoy. And let me know what you're up to. So today, this is a little basket of palettes I picked up in the first half of 23. Goes so fast. I have been in a bit of a funk, and some of these I haven't really gotten around to playing with yet. So I decided I would swatch all of them for you, kind of give you my initial thoughts. And that way I know I've played with these and experimented with them at least a little bit. My second half of 2023 is a no-buy, in particular for eyeshadow palettes. Unless there's I've got 3 indie releases on my list from Shroud, from Necromancy Cosmetica, from Unearthly Cosmetics, and Sigma. So those are all on my list, but I'm largely not going to be buying really any makeup other than basics I might need to pick up now and then. And so I'm just kind of trying to get myself inspired to play with these more and to do more content with what I've got in my collection. I'm saving up to move at the moment, so I really want to make sure that I'm focusing on what I've got, and I hope you're interested, and we'll hang out for this. So with all of that rambling done, let's dive right in. First thing I'm going to grab is this Natasha Denona Mini Zendo. So it's one of the mini palettes. I highly recommend minis if you don't want to spend a lot, but you're interested. These look very vibrant in the pan. My first take of this video that didn't go so well, I thought some of them didn't show up as well on my skin. But this is gorgeous. This is what I call a perfect summer because there's depth and there's warmth. It's punchy looking, but it's got some, it's got some variety. So I'm going to swatch the first 3 shades. So these first 3, I'll go left to right. I do larger swatches because it's easier for me to see them. So just keep that in mind. That's why they are kind of big. The burgundy shows up all right. These colors seem to be a very nicely, finely milled, well-pressed powder. So I definitely think I'll enjoy this. I need to do more summer makeup looks. I don't have a traditional take on seasonal colored cosmetics. I think I'm more mood and atmospheric based, but in the summer I like depth and warmth and a lot of punch because to me that's when everything is the most alive and vibrant. In the winter, I am very much about the ethereals, your silver, your light gray, your ivory. But I love blush and gold and champagne like year round. So you'll always see that. But I love like those soft tones mixed with like some stark, like black, dark gray. Very ethereal, but also kind of harsh. And then like spring is, your bronzes and greens and plums, but also some gray. Especially like olive, green, gray, because it's kind of like everything being coming back to life, but also there's just almost a sense of like sadness too, that the earth is finally not having to deal with the harsh winter anymore. Just like, I don't know, everything seems to relax some and be a little like, I'm tired. But then everything starts to wake up again too, so I don't know. Just the way the energies feel. So that Natasha Denona was a good summer one. This is a good spring one to me. This is the Pat McGrath. I think I started to say this. If you want to try more expensive brands, go after minis, because that's a good way to get to test them, to enjoy them, and not spend too much. This is the Sublime Smoke. Outer packaging looks like that. And I will once again swatch the top 3 shades. It is very gray and gloomy out today, which I don't love for this kind of video, but you film when you get the urge. At least I do. And I don't know how much of these are even showing up because of this lighting. I don't always have the best contrast vision, and gray gloomy is not lighting that really works for me. Okay. So below the Natasha Denona swatches are the Pat McGrath ones. It's nice and soft. I honestly would hesitate to travel with this little guy. And the reason is how soft these are. They seem like they might explode if you accidentally like knocked this the wrong way. Speaking of color issues, this is the first and probably the only Glossier palette I will pick up. I think this packaging is cute. This is the Teak Trio. So for this, I'll just swatch all of them. And I must say, I wasn't overly impressed when I did my first take. Part of the reason for doing this video is so that I actually get around to these. The formula is nice, but I'm someone that does like a little bit more pigmentation, a little bit of depth, and to me this isn't that amazing. I feel like I'm having to work to get some of these up. They're a little dry, a little chalky. Or well, the last one I just did. Okay, so by my wrist is the Glossier. Not a bad thing to try out. I went that way to swatch it, just so you know. Okay, so with this being like a metallic packaging and them having a white background on Sephora, it looked more cool tone, which is why I picked this up. But when I got it in person and actually held it under light that really works for me, I found it much more warm. It's more golden. And it's pretty. It's very pretty. But I really didn't need it in my life. I'll keep it. I'll use it. It's fun. But I can't say I'm crazy about it. Okay. Let's have a good winter palette. Now I think this is not a new release. This is the Venus Immortalis from Lime Crime. You can see very much my color scheme. I hesitated to buy this for such a long time because I think the packaging is unbelievably excessive. You don't need this extra plastic rim. Maybe it's cardboard. Yeah, it's cardboard. You don't need this cardboard rim. You don't need all this negative space between the shades. You don't need how big this part is. And like this extra makes it sometimes the lid doesn't want to shut correctly. So I think this is excessive. This This would be one of my like all-stars if this packaging wasn't so bulky. Yes, I am a sucker for aesthetics. I really am. So that being said, I'll swatch the first 3 shades up top here as I've been doing. Actually, give me just a second. I'm going to clean off first because I have got a lot of makeup on my arm, on my hand. All right, cool. Let that dry off for a second. You know, one thing that drives me nuts is that, you know, people are like, use black eyeliner or black shadow for your eyeliner or maybe your crease. And I'm like, but I love the deep dark shades. So it's like, I wish people would be more artistic and more adventurous and just put shades where they want, observe the effects in their own mirror and go, oh, I like that effect or I don't like that effect, and not necessarily be told how to use their stuff and then only do that. Like, don't just follow someone's tutorial. Experiment, please. I mean, I get, you know, here's how to blend so you get that nice smooth color gradient. I get that kind of thing. But like, I've discovered for myself, I don't have this today, but instead of doing dark crease, deeper outer, and then getting lighter and lighter toward the inside, and then a bright brow bone or highlighted brow bone, what I like to do is I do a base layer of like white or something, and then I do dark on the inner and outer corner, and then I take another shade to sweep across my whole lid to bring those 2 dark components together so the gradient is bright toward the center instead of toward the inner. And then I soften the crease up a bit. I'm debating on whether or not I want to continue doing a brow bone highlight because yes, light does open things up a bit, but when you're hooded, when you have hooded eyes, maybe that makes your brow bone kind of come out farther and make it even more hooded looking. So like, I kind of want to experiment with not brow bone highlighting to see if I can change the effect. It's really good to experiment instead of just like following what everyone else tells you to do. Let's go ahead and do these swatches. Black shade is very good in here. I think you can judge an indie palette by the black shade. That dark silver is nice. Those look good. Those look really good. I'm very pleased to see how bold those are. You know, I was talking about mood and atmosphere. One of the classes I'll be teaching is on glamour magic, and let's say you know you have different parts of your personality. I might break out this palette, in addition to being kind of a winter palette for me, I might break it out if I have to have a very intense conversation with someone. I might break this out if I need to feel very determined. So the energy of your personality that you want, or the aspect of who you are that you want to put forward, you can use the colors of your makeup, the colors of your clothing to express. And, you know, based on kind of just a psychological effect, it'll help you channel that into whatever you have going on. Another thing I found is that wearing certain colors can be very healing, or this is more for decor, using certain colors to create a psychological effect that puts you in a good headspace for success and for happiness. So that's a little bit about glamour magic. It's putting yourself and those around you in a certain psychological state through the effects of what you wear, your makeup, your decor, etc. Here is a good fall one. I know this is going to get dirty, probably already is. I, again, hesitated to buy this. And I hesitated to buy it because I've heard it's very powdery. This is the ABH Soft Glam 2 Mini. It is very cute. It is very mini. And again, now I'm going to change it up. I'm going to do these 3 shades down here. 1, 2, 3. I'll go from left to right as I've been doing. This raspberry one I know I really like. And the reason I hesitated to buy this, A, is because ABH has been kind of called out for some less than savory things they were associated with on their Instagram. And B, I've heard this palette is rather powdery and a little on the chalky side, which is something I definitely agree with. These two darkest shades, the black and then like the deep berry. Okay. So that's those bottom 3 shades. My favorite is the raspberry. It's very soft. It's very smooth. The other 2 are a bit chalky, but definitely workable. My hand looks awesome right now. So yeah, I think this is a good little palette. I wasn't gonna buy it for the longest time because of what I heard about the formula and because of what I've heard about ABH. And I finally just said, to hell with it. I can't get it out of my brain. If it's the one ABH palette I ever buy, fine, whatever. Just get it over with. So like the berries, like the deep berries and like kind of richer pinks are like very much my fall scheme. Whereas like bronzes and plums and stuff are more like my spring. I'm not really an orange person, so there's like this shade called Orange Soda, which is like very peachy in that Anastasia one, and I just don't care about it. The rest of this palette I love, though. Here is the Melt Bad Side Zodiac. This is the Earth Edition. Looks like this. And how do I want to swatch this? I think, again, I'll just do these bottom 3. This is my first Melt palette because I am, I was very much dissuaded by the reviews I heard of the Melt stacks. The Melt lipstick I once had, I did not like the formula. I thought it was super drying and uncomfortable. And so yeah, it just wasn't my jam. But I decided to try it again because I do like mini palettes. So those are the bottom 3 shades that I picked out. 3 shades from the bottom row. And they swatched okay. I found them a little bit chalky. Last 2. The MAC Connect in Colors. Now this is Encrypted Kryptonite. And I bought this as a replacement for the MAC Semi-Sweet. I think they upped their packaging game, so to me the fact that you get 6 slightly larger pans instead of the 9 smaller ones, I can sort of tolerate that. I'm putting some of these back so I have some room. And then I was very tempted by one other one that I'll show you here in a minute. But yeah, this is the Encrypted Kryptonite. I bought it to replace Smoky, or a Semi-Sweet, because it's kind of got a smoky vibe. And so yeah, let's get into that. Let's see, what do I want to do? Okay, again, I think I'm going to do the bottom row. I'm going to do it on my wrist, so I'll go slightly backwards. MAC's formula to me has always been pretty fantastic. Okay. So again, it's the bottom row on my wrist. Nice pigmentation. Definitely looking forward to getting more use of that. And see, this is actually working because like I actually feel like getting back in and playing with more of my stuff again. The spring has just been really weird. I'm dealing with getting ready for a move, and I've got a bunch of other stuff going on. And it's just been hard to want to focus. This is Bronze Influence. The greens mixed with the champagne, just, like, it's so pretty. This hooked me for spring, just like the Pat McGrath one did. Now, I have to say two things. One, you may have noticed there's no drugstore in here, and that is because I never like the drugstore packaging. It doesn't always look that good. And to me, that's not the only reason. I'll get to the rest of it here in a second. To me, like, makeup should be a luxurious therapeutic experience. And just because you don't have a lot of money doesn't mean you should be denied that. So I feel like brands could do a lot better and make their stuff look nicer. And also, the formulas that I've tried so far, where I've been able to find mini palettes that suited my color schemes, weren't that good. Like, I had the Maybelline City Mini in Brunch Neutrals. The only reason I bought that was because there was like a burgundy in there with like a silver, and I'm always after like, you know, decent wine tones, and the formula sucked. I have a small Makeup Revolution. Again, I'm not impressed with. A lot of the cheap ones. A, the packaging isn't great. B, their schemes, their ideas of layouts to me are just not that inspired. And C, generally I don't like the formula very much. Now, I've heard that drugstore makeup has come a long way. I could see that. I've got a couple of Essence and Hard Candy palettes I think are nice. But I honestly am steering away from drugstore now because every time I find something, I end up being disappointed, or almost every time. I'm going to try to get more into indie brands. As I said, I'm kind of going no-buy for the rest of the year, but I'm keeping a list of indie stuff I would really like to try. So that will happen when it happens. Let's go ahead and swatch the bottom row of this Bronze Influence. And again, I will go backwards so that it actually is the right direction on camera. Okay, so that's those. I wish they were a little more punchy. Two of those are. I'll show you again that. The bottom row with my wrist. I wish they were a bit more punchy, but it's really pretty. I think these are good, and I'm glad I got them. Like, these are definitely ones that I would very much like to have in my collection for a very long time. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I certainly did. It took about 1 million takes because just kid next door throwing a fit, or the lighting was weird, or I forgot a makeup wipe and had to like get up and leave the camera, and I don't have editing software that's low vision accessible. A lot of things just kept going wrong. I finally got a good take that I'm happy with. Please like and subscribe, and check me out on Facebook, Instagram Threads. I would love to see you there. I'd love to chat with you. And yeah, I hope to see you back here. Bye.